Hi, everyone. Welcome to TSP Weekly, your tech startup podcast for July the 8th. My name is Stephen Campbell. With me, as always, is my co-host, Amaris Gerson.
Good morning, Stephen.
A bike morning.
Yes, a very sticky bike morning.
A lot of construction here.
8 billion degrees outside.
Did you almost die, or did you almost kill someone on the way in?
Both. You try and run me over with your car, I will try and kill you with my bike.
Fair enough. Joining us this morning is Erin Stephenson from DOZR. Erin, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah, Erin, you're the co-founder, or one of the co-founders of DOZR,
I am one of the co-founders of DOZR.
You have two other gentlemen that are founders as well?
That's correct. Yeah, Kevin and Tim.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the podcast this morning.
So I have questions. What is DOZR, and why is there not an E?
Yeah, good question. So I'll start with what is DOZR. DOZR is a contractor-to-contractor equipment sharing marketplace.
Okay.
So the general premise of our company is to take the concept of the sharing economy and apply that to the construction industry, specifically for heavy equipment. It's a pretty significant problem in construction where contractors have heavy equipment that sits idle. That's costing them money to not have it working. They bought it to make money, and it's actually sitting and costing the money, and it's something that affects virtually every contractor in the industry. So we've created a platform where they can actually create a revenue stream from that.
So they essentially rent it out?
They rent it out, to other contractors that are in our verified network.
Really neat.
And how do you become a part of the verified network? Like, how do you verify? Besides saying they're a contractor, because I could do that.
Yeah, well, it is it is contractor to contractors. Okay. So it's free for anyone to join, and it's free for them to list their equipment as well. So they can just go directly to our website and sign up at any point in time. But once they do sign up, we do certain checks and balances to make sure that they are actually a legitimate business. It's business to business. We're not in the business of renting, really heavy equipment out to homeowners and things like that.
That could be dangerous.
It could be dangerous. Yeah, we want to make sure that they are capable of operating this equipment and they know what they're doing.
Call before you dig.
No, that's right.
Wrong industry.
No, she said yes.
No, yeah, it's true.
They have diggers and stuff.
Yeah, but
I know
but
that's not the technical term,
it's not
diggers.
The same.
But yeah, a homeowner.
Yeah,
we have a Skyjack downstairs that we don't know who it belongs to, for example, right? Like how long does a piece of equipment sit idle for a usual owner? Like if I own a bulldozer and is it 80% of the time it's not being used, or is there sort of an industry average for equipment?
It really depends. So I find that typically the breaking point for the decision of do I buy a piece of equipment or do I rent it is about the 50 to 60% utilization rate.
Okay.
So some equipment is going to be used much more than that. A lot of the contractors, like bread and butter pieces that they use day in and day out, are going to be a higher utilization. Right. But there's still a pretty significant portion that could be sitting idle for 40 or 50% of its lifespan. And then that's not even talking about specialty equipment where it's maybe one piece that they need for a specific job that they only use once a year, and then they don't need it for the remainder of the year, and so that's going to be even a much lower utilization rate than the standard.
So there's
stuff.
Obviously a big need for DOZR. Does everyone else agree? Like, do the contractors agree?
Absolutely, yeah. And we've had some amazing reception from the contractor community as we got this started, and the typical reaction has been like, either A, why didn't I think of that? Or B, how has nobody done this before already? Like, how has this not existed already? Because it is such a sort of obvious solution to a pervasive problem. So
how many customers do you have so far? Do you have 100 or 10 or
we're at about 1,600 contractors.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's more than you have.
That's bigger than my numbers were.
Yeah, and we're growing every day. We're growing really, really fast. We only launched publicly in October.
Oh, wow.
Are you just in this area?
We're actually across Canada now. Yeah, so we started in this area.
Mm-hmm.
We started focusing in Ontario, but what started happening is word kind of spread. And now we're starting to see contractors join from multiple provinces all over the country.
Wow.
So did you come from a construction background or interest in that or school, or tell us a little bit about how you got here?
Yeah, so my co-founder and our CEO, Kevin, is a contractor by trade. So we often refer to DOZR as being built for contractors by contractors.
By Kevin.
By Kevin, yeah, exactly. So, and by me by proxy, I suppose. So Kevin started one of the largest landscape construction businesses in Ontario about 12 years ago.
Okay.
And he grew that from being, like a single owner operator, wheelbarrow in the back of his truck kind of business, up to where it is today, where he has multiple locations across the province. He's got 400 staff that work under him at the peak of the season. And
so he still has that business.
He still has that business. Yeah, he still operates that business.
Okay, and so what about the other co-founder? Is it Tim?
Tim, yeah. So it's a family business. So Kevin and Tim are brothers.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes, and Tim also works. His experience has been working with Kevin at his landscaping firm.
So he's also got contractor experience.
Also has contractor experience as well.
What a great testing ground when you have your own business and you can sort of test it and run it and see.
Yeah. Well, that's really where the idea from DOZR came from, because it was a problem that Kevin faced in his business on a daily basis, where he had equipment that was sitting idle between jobs, but also between seasons, because as a landscape contractor who's doing snow removal in the winter and construction and maintenance for landscaping in the summer, and different types of equipment that he would use at different points in the year. The snow business grew faster than the construction business did, and so it created this real imbalance in the equipment that he had. Right. And, we looked at different options of, what we could do to resolve that. And there wasn't a whole lot available short of starting a new business, saying, okay, well, I've got all this equipment, so maybe I get into a new form of construction, or maybe I start my own rental company, or whatever that looks like, which is what a lot of contractors today do. But it didn't really seem like the right fit for us. And it was actually while we were away on vacation, we had gone to Florida and rented a beach house through like a Airbnb, VBRO type of.
Got a taste of the sharing economy.
Got a taste of the sharing economy. And it was, walking down the beach talking about how great this model was and how accessible it made these vacation homes for people, that this light bulb went off. And we said, well, hold on, why can't we take the same concept of sharing resources and apply that to our equipment and apply that to the construction industry? And knowing what, our business had gone through, being able to say we would use this, we would be customers of this. Right. And we know enough about the industry that we can actually, pull this off. Yeah. We decided to go for it.
So the three of you are not software developers.
That's right.
That's a pretty uncommon thing that we hear about. I mean, whenever we're talking to startups, it's typically, not always, but they have that software background. Mm-hmm. So how's that?
How's that going?
It's been great. It's been totally fine. So we have, I guess I would call him a product manager, a product visionary that works with us as well. He's a founder as well. Mm-hmm. And so he's been really great at sort of leading the architecture and the vision of where we take the product. As founders, Kevin, Tim, and I, we understand what our customers need. So we're able to translate the business problem into, sort of requirements for the system. And then he can take that and build that into the architecture. And we've outsourced a good deal of the development to date. Mm-hmm. And so he's been able to manage a lot of the development teams that have been working on it.
So before we go to break, tell me a little bit about, you guys are in the Communitech Rev program.
That's right.
Tell me a little bit about how you found that or what that offers you guys.
Yeah, so my background is actually, I worked at BlackBerry for about 8 years before starting DOZR. And so I was aware of, through BlackBerry, of Communitech and what they did and sort of their relationship with the industry. And so when we started DOZR, I said, we should probably think about getting involved in Communitech. And actually started with the Google for Entrepreneurs program. In that program, we've got some co-working space here, and that really got us integrated into the community. And through that program, that sort of led into the Rev program, just being here and meeting people and understanding what they can offer.
It's an awesome swimming bowl.
Yeah.
Fish bowl? Swimming pool.
I don't know.
I put those two analogies together and I came up with nothing.
Yeah, and this is why I've said don't use analogies.
Yeah, it's hard. It's like don't breathe to me, though.
I know.
Erin, we're going to get into our 3x3 now. We're looking for sort of 3 wins, 3 losses, or challenges, or lessons. I don't know why we always soften up the lessons, the bad stuff. And then 3 glimpses of the future. So let's start with a
wins.
win.
Yeah. So what are some wins that have been really, obviously you're in the Rev program, but what are some other wins that have been clear that your business is a good idea and, I don't know, other things? What do you got?
Sure. I think really the speed at which we've been able to tackle this market is a huge win for us, considering that it's been, less than a year, really. We've only been operating for the site for 9 months or so.
Yeah. Sounds right.
To be able to reach the number of customers we have, those 1,600 contractors that we have on board, have the supply of equipment that we have, and the just amount of business that's happening, the amount of transactions that are going through has been pretty incredible.
It's definitely a big way, and that I would say that's probably a direct correlation to the fact that you are in the industry, who then has made a solution for it, like contractors for contractors.
I think it comes down to the fact that we're solving a really legitimate problem for our customers. It's not something where we've thought, hey, this is a great idea, let's try it out. It really stems from a problem in the industry. So it's easier for customers to adopt that.
Exactly. So what's win number 2?
Win number 2, I think, is, we're seeing that we're starting to spread geographically. So we had talked earlier about the fact that we're across Canada, and that's pretty recent for us. We did start with focusing in Ontario specifically, but we've just seen some incredible adoption all over the country. And so to be able to spread that quickly, I think, again,
that's a huge win
for us.
Yeah.
And what's number 3 for you?
I think number 3 is our ability to really win the hearts of our customers. I mean, the customers are central to our business. Their core to our business is what we're really passionate about, is helping our customers, and it shows. And we've got customers that are really passionate about us as well, and really active in the communities.
Yeah, that's great.
And once you win over a bulldozer driver, you really have somebody that's going to shout your name from the mountaintops. You don't think of construction workers as having a heart often, right? So you went over the.
I saw a horrible post about everyone being mean to
Yeah,
them.
I saw that too.
Yeah.
So
but LRT
say hello
construction people, go out and give them a hug.
Yeah.
Because construction workers are people too. So what about losses? What challenges have you guys faced?
Yeah, I think, we've been pretty lucky so far, or lucky or skilled, I guess, depending on how you look at it. But we haven't had any major pivots or anything like that we've had to do as a company. But we've had a lot of the similar challenges to, I think, other startups in the area, primarily things like finding talent, right? We're in growth mode right now, and we're starting to hire beyond our founding team. Sure. And it's always challenging to find really good talent because it's such a competitive environment here. So that's
it's a very common loss that we hear, a struggle that a lot of companies have.
Yep. I think another one would be prioritizing. There's so much work to be done, and we're a pretty lean team at this point. So it's really figuring out where are we going to have the biggest wins, and where is or we're going to get the biggest bang for our buck, where we're spending, and what, is going to have the most impact for our customers.
And that takes a lot of guessing in a way. Like, you have to hope that decision was the right one, because we've heard that from other companies. I'm thinking specifically site to site that had a lot of other opportunities because they were doing well, and you have to say no to some so that you can excel at others.
Totally. And I think, we try and use data as much as we can to drive the decisions that we make and identify what those red herring opportunities are from the real meaty ones that we actually want to pursue. And so we typically, when an opportunity comes up, we do talk about that as, strategically as a founding team to say, is this one that is worth pursuing? Is it worth pursuing now? Or is it something that we put on the back burner for later? Or maybe it's just not in line with the direction of the company.
It's so easy to be busy.
It's very easy.
You have to prioritize and focus on the end goal for
sure. So what's challenge or loss number 3?
It's more of a challenge, and it's really reaching our customer base. So the construction industry is vast, and the country is vast, and there's something like over 300,000 contractors in Canada, even more than that.
I would say more.
The United States, and it's a massive industry that we're dealing with. Construction equipment rentals alone is valued at $40 billion, and growing. So it's pretty huge. So to be able to get the word out there, it's pretty tough to knock on 300,000 doors.
Yeah.
So finding creative ways to reach our customers and get them to become aware of what we're doing, something we're continually working on.
And I would say part of the challenge is that your construction industry is not inherently technical.
That's right.
Right.
So it's not like you can blast them in the same ways. You can't tweet at them.
That's right.
You have to find other ways. That's definitely a challenge I can understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what those ways are as I think about it a bit. That would be a challenge for sure.
I don't know. We're not in construction, so we have
Thank
no
goodness.
idea.
I feel like I'm in construction with so much going on in this city. I'm always in construction,
You're not
driving through
doing
it.
that's not construction. You're just
I'm in construction.
you're driving
You don't get
in
it?
construction. Yeah,
Thank
get
you.
it.
It's a long way to go for that joke. Erin, tell us about the future. What are you guys looking at? Are you building out?
Obviously, they're growing.
See that
We're
pun?
growing.
Yeah.
We're definitely growing.
Good
And
work there.
yeah. Growing is that's really where our focus is. So it's growing our customer base, growing the regions that we're represented in, expanding our coverage.
And you're growing your team, like your staff.
Yes.
What positions are you looking for if anybody's listening and is loving the construction industry and technology?
Yeah, everything. So we're looking at primarily right now we're hiring for sales positions, both inside sales and outside sales. Ideally with people that have a little bit of understanding of construction, they can talk the talk with our customers. But also engineering positions, right? We're looking to bring more of that engineering back in-house.
Yep.
And so looking for that kind of talent to join the team as well.
Great.
What about where you're going to be after Rev? Is that part of your future?
Absolutely. I never want to leave Rev. I'd love to stay in that program
There is
forever.
a time limit.
There is a time limit. Yeah, there absolutely is. So we are looking at where we're going to go after Rev. We really want to stay in this area. We really want to stay close to the community and close to the hub. So I'm sure that will be,
somewhere safe.
only an arm's reach away.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Awesome.
Great.
Let's go to your favorite part, our hashtag Startup Crush. Erin,
Yeah.
who do you see around here locally that's doing a great job,
Or not just
similar
locally.
to DOZR?
Not just locally.
Yeah, we can
What
open
startup have you seen? Because you startups learn from other startups,
Mm-hmm.
so that's kind of what we try to do.
Yeah.
So what are some startups or a startup that you've seen that you really like or?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, I mean, I don't know if you really consider them a startup anymore, but Airbnb is somebody that we follow closely because it's that similar model of the sharing economy. There's a lot that we have to learn from what they've achieved, what they've accomplished, how they've done things, to be able to take bits and pieces of that and apply it to our industry as well.
And they grew pretty quickly too, so that they're maybe not a startup now, but they totally were about a half second ago.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's fair. It's a good one.
What about you, Amaris? Who are you crushing on this week?
You're throwing that to me so I can answer things quickly. I was gonna say an incubation space.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of really like what Catalyst is doing because that's my neighborhood. So I'm gonna actually pick that one. That's
Okay.
not what we talked about.
No,
but I'm
no, you
totally
surprised
picking
me.
that one.
I'm going to go with Hacker Nest because that's an incubator of geeks, I guess you could say. So I like that. Nerds and geeks, yeah.
Yeah, and that's on Monday.
So can't wait.
Yeah. All right. So we're getting sort of weird hand signals.
Yeah, I
think
think
that means.
I think it's almost our time. Erin, thanks very much for
Well,
coming.
wait. How do we follow your?
Oh yeah,
story?
how do we? Do you have a Twitter account or how do we?
Yeah, so at DOZR Hub, DOZR HUB.
Yep.
That's our Twitter handle.
Okay.
We have a Facebook page as well that we're pretty active on.
What about your website?
www.dozr.com.
Wow, that's great.
Hold the E.
Hold the E. Good.
Hold the E, exactly.
Cool.
Well, thanks very much, Erin, for coming on TSP Weekly. For myself, Stephen Campbell, and my co-host, Amaris Gerson, and Erin Stephenson, co-founder of DOZR, thanks very much for joining us. We'll see you next week.